What's up? What's up, everybody? It has been a minute. It has been a while,
It's
but
some
we
time.
but we are back with another podcast, the Black Lounge Talks, with my co-hostesses. Y'all introduce yourselves.
Not a word.
Yo, shut up.
Okay.
Introduce yourselves, cause I ain't introducing y'all. Y'all family here, so introduce
What's
yourself.
up, Per King BJ? That's what I think this is what the 12th or I've been for all of them.
You gotta kill the bottle while you talk.
Nigga, I'm thirsty. My fan ain't on. I wonder why.
Yo, this boy. Did y'all? This nigga
I
started
can't
playing.
drink my water.
He started playing Scully.
That's crazy, man. Nah, I need my water because my fan ain't. Listen, it's cold and hot at the same time somehow. Like I don't know what the Earth is doing.
Man, you going through menopause, bro.
It's something. But that's Per King BJ, he streamed too. We've been here, so that's it.
All right. Glad to have you. Got
Of course.
that boy. Let him know.
Is that boy not? It's not that boy. It's your boy.
Oh, let him know.
Mars.
I don't see the hype.
And he. No, we gotta be hype. We gotta be hype. I don't know if anybody in the chat, but we gotta be hype for your boy because something miraculous happened to this man.
Oh shit.
He been having a terrible year, and then for some reason in the fourth quarter, he put up 2 clutch threes. A boy got him a new job, and he back on the YouTube.
Yeah.
So go check out that boy.
Tom, no.
Woo.
Go check out that boy, your boy, 592 on YouTube. Let him know. Fuck what you heard.
What's up, y'all?
Fuck what you heard.
For another stream.
I saw that John Jones video.
Yeah.
Raping that nigga named Thiago Silva.
And,
Wow, we just-
wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's how we do it. That's
I
crazy.
don't know what we're talking. He was defiling him with
Yo,
stuff like that.
it's alright. It's alright. But yeah. And of course, BJ's always streaming. I'm proud of both of y'all actually because y'all been putting on a lot more work. I see it. I'm always in the chats. I'm always trying to say something, always trying to show support.
Appreciate the love.
Everybody out there show support to them too. They be out here doing it. I be streaming all the time, but they stream also. So we try to keep it all within the family, you feel me? But we're here to do this podcast today. We're doing the touchy subject, especially what's going on in the world, especially the United States right now. I don't know what's the reason for it, but it's been a lot of shootings, a lot of people being killed, gunshots, things like that. Some people have their speculations on the reasons why it's happening. A lot of it, of course, is always blamed on gang and gang relations. I don't know. I'm not here to go in who doing it because I have my own thoughts that may be a little far-fetched for some and may not be far-fetched for others. But being that gangs is usually one of the first reasons and first explanations everybody jump to, I want to pose a question today. What we here for? Are gangs truly a problem? So we're gonna start off from what we each go around the room pretty much and describe or explain what we thought gang culture was or our first experiences with it. What we believe it should be. That's what we're gonna start off the conversation now. Nobody has to get any. If you don't want to get too personal, you don't have to. Not out here trying to get anybody dealt with, but we can start off there. If y'all, whoever want to jump in first, go ahead and get to it. All right.
TJ, you want
Okay, so sure. From my opinion, I think gangs are a net negative.
Okay.
Like I understand that a lot of its core of creation is from togetherness and stuff like that. But Does there need to be a gang for togetherness when it's already that diaspora globally? Does there need to be a gang for togetherness when there are communities left and right here and there? We have our neighbors. I don't why I need a set. My neighbor's got sugar. I don't need them bullets. My
Okay.
neighbor's got I don't know. I'm just saying if we were sprinkled about here and there, like one person here, one person there, and the whole community as a whole, I could see the need to group up and move together. But
Okay.
if we're amongst each other and ourselves, then I don't get why.
All right. Let me ask you this though: Has
Hmm.
all your interactions with gangs have it been negative?
I've never had a positive interaction.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you said for the most part, it's mostly just negative interactions, things going on that shouldn't, or stuff happening that shouldn't be happening.
Ignorant things, yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I can understand that. Do you think it's personally been a change though, or a shift in how games have been over your years of being on this earth?
I mean, I've seen instances of it. Like, I think, what neighborhood was it? Gangs in, I believe, Michigan. There was like a very violent neighborhood,
Yeah.
and it's sad because you would think it's a bit, in a way, it seems a little bit immature, but people put their bullets down because they picked up paintball guns, and they would have like neighborhood paintball fights. So I'm like, okay, so
That's pretty cool.
that's, I mean, you can say it's cool. Just like, I don't know, I'm 34, and I used to put my own people in the grave, but the only thing stopped me putting people in the grave at 34 is paintball gun.
Yeah.
Not even in the woods in my neighborhood, painting up niggas' buildings and shit. Okay, I
Yeah.
guess
I
it's
feel
better
you.
than killing somebody, so that's a benefit there. But I feel like that shouldn't be needed. It should just be understood that it's okay not to hurt my own. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so, but
How about you, Michael? What you feel? Or
What
what you
was
think?
uh what was the question? Because I got stuck with everything BJ was saying. What was the question?
I mean, it was like a multi-layered question. Like, how have your interaction been with games, or how you feel like you are now, or like what's going on? If you want to go into we're just having more of an open discussion about games. What do we feel about them? What's going on? Stuff like that.
Well, I've had good and bad interactions with gang members. It's not always a negative. To me, I'm more of the person that believes that it's who is teaching these gang children. I know I'm probably disappearing from the mic, but there's noise in like my headphone.
No,
But
no, it's you
it's
good.
it's who's teaching these youngsters coming up about gang activity and stuff like that. Like I've never always had bad interactions with gang members. I've never always had good ones, but I've had more good than bad. It's to me it just depends on the person and who's their big homie per se and things of that nature. Like what are you teaching these kids,
Yeah,
because a lot of the problem is now these young niggas coming up, they feel they got a lot to prove. They feel they got to prove something. They feel they got to do something to show that they represent what they represent. Like
yeah,
when you look at the OG gang culture, it was neighborhood protection. If BJ lights go out and he in the hood, we take the money in the stash and help him pay his bills. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah,
the problem is a lot of these young niggas now. It's like, oh, you're wearing the wrong color. I gotta fight you. And it's like you really don't even have to live that type of lifestyle. You don't have to live that type of way as far as being in a gang. I know a few, people who used to be gang affiliated, and you would never know.
yeah, yeah,
Like I'm affiliated, and I don't just be going around punching Crips in the face and stuff because they Crips. Like it's like I said, it depends on who is influencing these people who are just getting into the gang culture because they see it on TV. They listen to these phony B-cat rap videos of niggas standing in a pissy hallway.
It don't even gotta be B-cat rap videos because we going it be them, it be the real ones too. It be the
Yeah,
real.
you're right. It does be
real.
the real ones. I'm not gonna take that from you.
It be the
But
real
what I'm
ones
saying
too.
is, it's a lot of just, oh, I'm in Israel time. I'm this that this that this that woo woo. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the way I look at it, it's 2020. Like, I'm not saying gangbanging is dead, but gangbanging is dead. Like, go get an education and a job. Go get a career.
so you'll definitely say that that they have changed over time, especially like far as you growing up.
Yeah, yes and no, because it's like I said, it's, you can run into a few real gangbangers, like, you know what I'm saying, like the
Yeah,
old school gangbangers. It's just that, yes, I say yes because there's a lot of new people coming into the lifestyle that aren't being educated and taught the right things. It's just, oh, you Crip, you got to put on for Crip, you got to do this for Crip. This is it, Crip, Crip, Crip. That's it. But then there's some new people that come into the game that they not about all of that. Like,
yeah,
for an example, a lot of people, know Nipsey Hussle. He was rolling 60s, but he wasn't out here every time he ran into a blood beating him up. Then you got, the youngsters like that 6ix9ine was hanging with, doing anything they can to just be heard and be known. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it is a very, like, yeah, it has changed, but also a lot of the true ways have stayed the same.
okay, okay. uh I could respect that. I mean, I feel I feel both. Like both of what y'all are saying, I definitely could agree for the most part with both of y'all. Like, for me personally, just like Michael, my interaction with games has never been just negative or just positive. It has been a little bit of both. Little situations here, or there, or sometimes you meet some dope people, and they definitely change your mindset or help you along for what you're thinking, or help you along and or move you towards a better direction, or whatever the case may be. So it hasn't always been a negative and negative or a positive. I feel strongly that a lot has definitely changed in certain aspects, but like you said, the core is still kind of there sometimes. One of the biggest problems and misconceptions that that nobody touched on, but I'll touch on it. That one of the biggest problems or misconceptions that people have is that nowadays, I'm not going to get too into it, but nowadays that the gangs that we think are gangs, or we just put everything in the large bracket of gangs, and it's not all a gang situation. A lot of times it's teams and affiliates of whatever gang. Like I said, I won't get into the specifics of who or whatnot, but if you just pay close attention, especially in the different neighborhoods you live in, you'll find out, you'll see it, especially wherever you live at. It may be your geographic location may be different from ours, but a lot of times, one of the biggest issues that I've noticed, it's with the youth them, and that's one of the biggest problems. They want to be so down with the gang culture and how much is glorified. This is the reason why they want to be down with it, and they not necessarily say, for example, everybody knows like Blood and Crip. They not necessarily Blood and Crip. They're just a team that associates themselves with it, and because, like Michael said, they want to prove themselves so much and so bad, they out here just doing whatever. And that's one of the biggest problems, is like, especially with the youth not knowing or truly respecting or not having a guidance on what this is. Like when you said, starting off, it was a group of people that was supposed to be taking care of their communities, taking care of the people in there, looking out for each other, because that's all they did have. And it became something totally different, where it's one thing to earn respect, and it's another thing to be terrifying the people that you're with or around, who lives in your neighborhood, and that's essentially what they do a lot of times now. It's just terrifying the people that they live around. Their just goal is to get money or have sex or whatever the case may be, and that's all they're looking into. And then a lot of time, if we're gonna be solely honest, a lot of these people are too afraid to be by themselves or do things themselves, so they need a group of people to be around them, especially with the youth. So, I do feel like it has been misguided. It has changed over the time. So I do feel like if it could somewhere somehow head into a different direction, maybe more and better guidance, it could be a change in it, especially of how they are in neighborhoods and what they do in neighborhoods. But it takes each and every one of us for that, so that's how I feel about that. But I'm gonna ask a question: do you think that do gangs do need to, should it be changed? Should we try to keep that gang culture? Should it just be changed, reworked for the better, or should we just do away with it?
I guess if you're gonna ask that question, you gotta define what is gang culture.
So let me answer your question with another question. What's gang culture to you? Because we all may have a different viewpoint of what's gang culture.
Nothing good that I can tell. Even if you bring up the stuff that was going back with the Black Panthers and all that, like what is gang culture? Because whenever you see documentary or something, you'll see an old head say, "Oh, this is what it used to be." But if that's what it used to be, then what is it now? It's just clearly not doing the things that they did in the past, the things that would bring a community together before crack hit neighborhoods.
Okay. So that's still
Gang culture used to be something, but clearly those doctrines ain't being followed.
Okay, and that's
so what is it now, except for the negative stuff?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, let's speak on that. What negative stuff do you think envelops or is gang culture now?
What, like, okay, one negative thing that you see, we're talking about killings.
Yeah.
The execution style murder of a freaking 5-year-old just because his father is with someone else. That 5-year-old didn't do nothing, but you gonna kill him and snuff him out like a grown man because you want to get back at his niggas pops. That's gang culture. Or this one, you mentioned Nipsey Hussle. When Nipsey's murderer was on the loose, people in his family, nephews, kids, nieces, girl, people who weren't involved and had nothing to do with it, there, a couple of them are dead. I think they got an uncle and they got a cousin. People who are just out and about living their lives, they ain't do nothing, Nipsey. You're mad and want to get at him for snuffing out a life innocently, but you guys are doing the exact same thing to people who have nothing to do with it. That's gang culture because that's what's done. So it's like, what are we going at? What's the 10 commandments for gang culture we're putting out there that are saying this is what it is?
Okay, so with that being said, so then you're more on the fence of you think just it needs to be abolished, getting rid of gangs need to be, that should be a done deal.
I think if you're looking at the positives that used to be done, those things sound like just a community of people sticking together and being for themselves. You don't need a gang for that because the Jews ain't got a gang unless Hasidic is a set. Asians ain't got a gang unless Koreans a set.
What do you feel about that, Michael?
Yes, I feel the KKK and the police department need to be dealt away with.
Okay, I see where you going. Go ahead, speak, my brother.
That's how I feel. Because we're just looking at gangs. Like, the police it's an organized gang, and they get paid to kill people, and they ain't even the only difference is the skin color.
My God said, they
the KKK has been around since its founding in whatever X amount of years, and they still around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like they need to be abolished.
And I could agree with him on that because we do tend to have a very narrow scope of gangs, especially in America, where we just look at like Bloods and Crips and the organized gangs that are out there nobody talks about, or we're just bringing light to them now. But the KKK is legitimate. That's a gang. Like that is a gang. The police and task force operate like a gang, but we don't look at it, or we're just starting to look at it. I'm not speaking about us as black people. I'm speaking about like the world and the U.S. are starting to look at them a little bit more now, but it wasn't a problem, and we didn't look at it as heavy as it's done. And I feel like, me personally, not saying the stuff that does happen with people that quote unquote may be part of a gang is right or isn't a problem, because those things are a problem. I mean, I can't speak on what somebody does for retaliation, because that goes into a whole nother thing, and I just know, God forbid, if something happened to one of my own, the hell and rampage that I might be on. So I can't speak for that. But there are, look at where we talked about this before. It's been in headlines. Look what happened to George Floyd and countless others, Breonna Taylor, countless others. They have been murdered, and we're talking about the 5-year-old, and like I said, I'm not saying that was right, because that's clearly not. But Breonna Taylor was sleeping and with her boo thing, and they ran up in the crib. He pulled a weapon out because somebody ran up in the crib. That's something a gang would do. That sound gang like gang activity to me. And killed her. And her murderers are still free and still out there. George Floyd had a dude in his neck for 8 minutes and some change. And it took damn near America burning for something to happen. The KKK have been hanging, burning, murdering, shooting, taking the law in their own hands for years on top of years. But that ain't listed as the number one, the world's dangerous gang, or America's most dangerous gang, or when those, because they used to come on. I don't know how old some of our viewers are or whatnot, but they used to come on, especially like Gangland. That's more one of the newer shows, but they had plenty of gang TV shows back in the day showing America's gangs and all that. And KKK wasn't on it. The police force wasn't on it. So I do feel like, yes, those gangs. But even with those stuff, no, KKK need to get all the way the hell up out of here. But fuck all that. But as far as like the police force, I'm not gonna say get rid of the police force, but there do need to be some change and reform. The same way Bloods and Crips or whoever else need their change and reform. They do, because they do serve a purpose. When like I said, the Bloods and the Crips and most gangs is supposed to be somewhere to go where you have, especially minorities. They have nowhere to go. They have nobody looking out for them. That's supposed to be that help. And essentially, they call anything a gang of people getting together. And me and 5 of my friends get together on the block, they'll call that a gang of us. That's all it is. So do I feel like everything needs to be abolished? Those that are out there that are doing things for the wrong purpose and solely for the wrong purpose do need to be abolished. But you do have people out, you still have gangs out there that's working together and doing what they, trying to take care of each other. I don't think we should abolish those. Or do you feel like just everything need to go, BJ?
If someone can show me real evidence that there's good being done by them, then I can at least say there's some good. But like I said, if the things that we're saying we want gangs to do, we can just do as a community. Because do we need to have a title of Blood or Crip to do this for our own, or to do things together? Is it necessary?
I mean, but like if a community got together and did all those things, they're going to call it a gang. Like they go.
I mean, you can call it a gang. I don't care.
Yeah.
But if we're coming together as a community doing things for ourselves, then they can label whatever they want, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're just out there doing things for self, the word blew my mind, but pretty much just to enrich yourself, and you'll do it at the behest of your community's enemies and at the destruction of your own community, then you're not gonna get. There's gonna be no praise that I can give. There's nothing that I can see to be like, you know what, just do you like. And just because we're talking about the Bloods and the Crips and about this murder doesn't mean that there's no approval for any gangs
Yeah.
from Asian, Spanish, South American, African,
Of course.
European.
Of
It's
course.
just if the goal is to do for your own, then okay. But if you're just doing wild shit, causing destruction and loss of life in your own community and hurting the people that your, let's say, doctrine were created to help, then what are you then? If you're going against why you were created, you're trash.
All right. I mean, I could get you there. I definitely can understand that. Do you think that do you feel that most problems in the community are from gangs though?
No, that I don't agree with, because I do agree. Like, I don't know if I'm not gonna say the channel's name, but there is a. I don't agree with him 100%. I wouldn't even say 50%, but it was something that he said that I could get behind. His name's John Sally. He's a champion with the Lakers and the fucking Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
He was with one of the Bad Boy Pistons, and he was like, he wants to buy up a black neighborhood in California. He was talking about how crazy it was just to open a cafe there.
Yeah.
And he wants to buy it up. He wants to put healthy food locations there. He wants to just, give you a fair price if you're not black, but just have it be a strong black community foundation. And he says, if given time, things will change. If the poison's out, like, we didn't bring drugs in. Crack caused a lot of the things that happened, and the tactics are very similar to how things are done by the CIA and how they took down South America, Iran, stuff like that. So I know that lots of the things that occur negatively or not birthed from just nigga DNA just being tainted. No, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I understand that. It's just if you're gonna be a thing that's created to do good, then just do good.
Okay. I mean, I could respect that. I could
Because you hurt your own cause when it's out there on the street that grandmother or I don't know, college student shot while in car, not the target of a gangbang, but niggas want to act up in public. I don't know. You just hurt your own cause and you add.
Yeah, no,
put fuel in your own
I
cause.
get that, but I'm just saying sometimes with that's not all the time gang related, but it gets thrown around like so easily. Like as soon as somebody gets shot, it's it must have been gang situation or gang related, and a lot of times it doesn't. Like it's not necessarily that at all.
I'll say this: the media.
Yeah,
There have been. I'm not a Trump fan, but he was a genius when he did that whole shit about fake news, because the media has been fake for decades. Anybody who's ever done a study on it knows that when Billy Bob shoots little Sarah Lee in the head because her mama was a whore and stepped out on him, that would be the news for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But when Jason, who's a basketball star, gets shot because he's with Jaquan's girl, but Jaquan's girl didn't say that she was with somebody, that's gonna be on the news for at least 2 or 3 weeks. One story, they're both stories, they're both horrible, they're both gruesome.
Yeah.
One is worse because you killed a little child. The other one's, I'm just saying, all life matters, but like, just as a human being, you're gonna feel a little worse with a little kid getting shot than an adult but you'll be talking about one of them longer because the
Yeah,
media is trained to put certain things on the airwaves over and over again.
yeah, and
So there's a
that's
system. Oh yeah, go ahead.
yeah. No, I was just commenting on what you're saying, pretty much agreeing with you. I feel like that's also a big problem, big issue that the media the media shines so much light on what it wants to
Of
compared to
course.
what's also a problem. So it makes, not saying the gang situation isn't a problem, but it makes situations look 100 times worse than what they truly are or what's truly was going on.
I think the best way I can put it is the KKK and Triad and MS-16s. They're a problem. They're horrible and all that stuff. But even though they're a problem, I'm gonna concentrate on my own. You know, Jose over there and Dylan, they gotta concentrate on their I was about to say niggas, but their people and
Yeah,
get your shit together,
yeah,
and we concentrate on our own and get our shit together. Like one of the biggest issues in terms of, let's say, wealth. Like I've been concentrating on that a lot,
yeah,
and there's not a lot of wealth in the community, and that's also what leads to a lot of turmoil.
yeah.
Like
Of course.
why I think there's been a lot of violence. You have a situation where people struggle forever, and then I'm gonna just do a little timeline. It won't be too long, but then let's look at '08. There was some black wealth. There was like it wasn't as big as other communities, but there was some black wealth that existed. That was wiped out in '08.
Yeah,
Wiped out, and we never recovered.
yeah,
And now what little was built up is wiped out to the point where you got fucking people who are celebrities that's supposed to be wealthy making OnlyFans. The fuck? So if
well
Cardi B and Offset,
that
I'm saying if Cardi B and Offset got to make an OnlyFans, but you ain't got the name to bring people to an OnlyFans to bring some money in, what you going to do?
yeah, but that also, what I was saying with that also goes into the how the view of things, the like we said about the media, where a lot of times people think the name correlates to the money value, especially when situations and things are going on. Like just now we had a global pandemic. Like your name doesn't always equate to money. There's a lot of people that have a name out there and the money isn't behind that. That's just a name. That's just what people know them. So the balance of and the conception of wealth is totally off. First off,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
second of all, it's so much money, and this is another topic for another day. But it also, money is one of the biggest issues, and of course, people's situation is why people do join gangs too. But the money balance is ridiculously off, especially in America. You have billionaires, and people do
Yo,
not understand how much money $1 billion is.
them niggas just made. I'm talking about like the 80. I think it's like 80 billionaires or something like that in this country.
Yep,
Those niggas combined, while the whole world is suffering and
bro,
niggas can't buy some rice, they
bro.
made 600 billion
There's
combined
enough billionaires in America, just America alone. There's enough billionaires in
to end all suffering.
America to end all the suffering in America, and they can
Probably the world.
still be billionaires. Like literally, they can end homelessness, end hunger, and they're
Medicare
still
for all.
in Medicare and still be billionaires. That's how much money a billion is. So when you have the rich, America is a place where only the rich are getting richer, and the
No, no,
poor.
the world over.
Yeah,
It's
but it's some more balance other places. I mean, America is where it's at its one of its
I
worst.
wanted to step in and say something
Go
because
ahead. I
it
was
goes to what you were saying. Mike Bloomberg by himself can do it. Like I just
oh
want to put that into
by
perspective.
himself, literally
He
by
can
himself,
do it by himself.
can do it.
yeah, yeah, I know.
And this
I'm just
is
saying how I'm just was saying not that you didn't know it, BJ, but I was just saying because it's like that's
No,
ridiculous
it's
that
ridiculous.
one person
It's ridiculous.
can do it.
And
And
but let's add risk right here because people always want to correlate that. Oh, a nigga got money because he's just better. Like there's just something in his DNA better than. No, it's
hell
not.
no, hell no,
No,
hell
it's
no,
not.
hell no,
Ask Mark Zuckerberg how many
hell no.
companies that were coming up that was going to kill his Facebook, but since he was there first and had bread first after he stole it from those crazy ass twins from Harvard, I asked him how much companies he bought out just to make sure they weren't competition for him.
First off, we don't even gotta talk about Mark Zuckerberg. We can talk about a company that's a $1 billion company
Amazon?
right now. Not Amazon. I'm not even gonna go to Amazon. Like I ain't even gonna go there. But we can look at a company like Disney. Disney, anytime a company can compete with Disney, they
buy them out.
Go and buy them out.
And here's the thing: a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, just don't buy." Yeah, you think it's that simple? You think it's that simple?
It ain't
No.
that simple. It ain't that simple. When somebody's coming to your crib with millions of dollars and telling you that you either take this money or we gonna
kill you.
We gonna get you out of here. I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna use this platform to say they be threatening to kill people. I won't use that. But I will say
we didn't mean that.
Tomorrow, Twitch will be bought by Disney.
Yeah, tomorrow,
nigga. Actually, Twitch might be bought by fucking the U.S. government.
Tomorrow, my whole Twitch channel gonna be Lion King. It's gonna be Lion King on the Simba on the podcast. Woody,
Mulan twerking.
Mulan, like literally.
Son, so. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Like this, I hear this bullshit all the time, and it pisses me off. I remember, y'all remember, what's that goddamn bookstore? They used to everybody would always go there to buy a book when you were in college. Barnes and Nobles.
Barnes and Nobles. It's still
Son,
nigga, it's still out
no,
there.
listen, Barnes and Nobles ain't Barnes and Nobles no more.
It ain't.
Barnes and Nobles was a company that came out of the woodworks and created itself up. That was a company you could say that's a great American company. Do you know why Barnes and Nobles is dead? A lot of people say, "Oh, Amazon had a better business model." No, Amazon was not funded by the profits they made out of sales. Now it is, but it wasn't. Amazon undercut Barnes & Nobles in every bookstore in existence in this country because Jeff Bezos has a company that owns servers. Those servers, until I think this year, were contracted out by the fucking American government on $1 billion a year contracts. So Jeff Bezos took the money that he made from his contracts on his servers for the Pentagon to undercut every household American business that he could, killed and bought out as much as he could, and then now that there's no competition, he can raise the prices on his books on his end.
So with that being
it's all fake. It's all fake.
With that being said, this is why we have gangs in different areas.
I mean, it's true, bro.
Yo,
like,
when the wealth system is this disproportionate, what you left to do?
I'm gonna keep it real with you, all right, BJ? I ain't name dropping, I ain't doing none of that. But I can tell you right now,
just said my name.
A lot of what be happening is you got a bunch of young niggas who can't get a job because the government don't want to hire them or the store don't want to hire them. They go buy a couple zips of weed, they break it down, and they sell it together. Then they put the money back in, re-up, and continue to sell.
If they were just selling weed, I'd be fine with that.
Bro, I'm telling you straight up, a lot of this,
I wouldn't care.
A lot of this shit that you hear on gangs ain't even the gangs doing it. And that's the bullshit that I'm tired of hearing.
That goes
a lot
into
of
the
this
media
shit,
situation right there.
It's a lot of, and don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here defending gangs, but a lot of shit that people be saying, "Oh, gang activity, gang." No, it wasn't. You had some other person doing some shiesty shit, and somebody caught him lacking. That's it. It don't even be gang activity. A lot of times, it really don't even be that way. I can tell you from experience, it don't be that way. I'm not saying all, but a good amount don't be like that. Like I said, you got a bunch of kids who are just afraid, and they need people to be around because they're afraid to be by themselves. Who join gangs?
Yeah,
they can't get a job. They in high school. School is rough. They fail in classes. I need money because my mom can't pay the bills by herself. So that's why they go into stuff like scamming, selling drugs. I'm not saying that they don't rob people at gunpoint and do other stuff. And once again, I'm not speaking for all gang members.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not, because I know for a fact a lot of gang members do some crazy stuff. But you also have the few, you have a good amount who just need protection. They're afraid to go home by themselves because there's dudes that be standing in front of their door who aren't gang members. They just dudes who live in the building. chilling with their friends. But they don't know that. They just scared and intimidated. So they join up with a different gang. That's all I'm saying. It's a lot of twisted stuff that goes into it's because it's easy for everybody to just say, oh, it was gang activity.
That's the cop out. Like that's the easy cop
Yeah,
out.
that's the easy cop out. Oh, it was gang activity.
Gang activity.
You have police officers driving into neighborhoods, starting shootouts in unmarked vehicles, starting shootouts just to get two rival gangs to beef with each other. Oh, it had to be them Bloods from over there on 2/5 because who else would drive in our hood like that?
Can I add something?
Yeah.
If niggas just you get a permanent truce going, and it's not just an I'm just saying if niggas is out here, because I'm pretty sure since we're all human, we ain't stupid, we can start to come to the conclusion that niggas is using our built-up animosity for what reason? Because we all just black people.
But just to counteract that, viewpoint.
We should disarm what the enemy is using against us.
Like I said, just to counteract that viewpoint. Anybody know just like general history and general knowledge? A lot of places that have, and a lot of countries that have truces against each other, they were easily swayed by any and all situations. America and Russia.
I'm not talking about a truce between the cops and the gang.
You're talking about gang members. I get what you're saying, but I'm saying that countries, nations, civilizations have had truce before, and the moment something happens, they automatically blame it on the opposing person that they have a truce with. A truce, just because you have a truce with somebody, doesn't mean that they're out of speculation. That just means that you are in agreement not to beef and have war. America and Russia went through a whole Cold War, and they were just waiting for somebody else to start some shit off. Truce don't mean shit, especially when you have somebody on the opposite side of you. And the moment something happens, you still automatically go to, it must have been this group. That truce don't mean shit.
But let's look at it right here. You're talking about truces between people. Like, okay, we're all Americans.
Mm-hmm.
We all live in the same area. What's the difference between us? Most of us are all black. What's the difference between us? Why is it that we gotta beef?
But it's
long neck, short neck.
But this is what I'm trying to say to you. Before we are American or wherever, we are human. It's in human nature. If I disagreed with this group of people, if I disagreed with this person, with this set, with this tribe, or whatever, wherever you at, wherever you from, if I disagreed with this group of people at one point of our history, at one point of our life, and yes, we may have a truce now, but if I disagree with them and then something go off, the first people in speculation is always the people that were once my enemies that I have a truce now. Especially when I don't know who did it. It's a difference if I know who did it.
How niggas in the same neighborhood just be enemies. Maybe I'm crazy for that, but
it's not always niggas in the same neighborhood. A lot of you gotta understand, if there's Crips in one neighborhood, they ain't Bloods right next door to them. That's not how it works.
And even if it's not like that, there's what is the reason for the beef?
Bro, because it's a never
ending. Is it religious?
You're bringing in other factors. It's a never ending cycle. This has been going on for years, and they're taught from jump. Your rivals are the Crips. Your rivals are the Bloods. There's been a few times truce was made, but cops come in and start shit, and it's like, oh, it was the Bloods. Like Cuddy just said, you have to understand, a lot of it is, oh, we had beef with these dudes before. I'm not surprised if it was them. I don't know who it was. But it wouldn't be one of us just coming in here and shooting up the hood.
Let me put it to you like this. It's hard to have a truce or a common ground with your enemy when somebody else is imposing as the enemy. I'm not going to say who, I don't know who, but it's hard when you have other people imposing as your enemies. For instance, if you are, say for instance, blood, you and your homies, blood, chilling outside, wherever, y'all sitting there, an unmarked vehicle rides by. The first thing you, only thing you can see, because the windows are tinted, the windows rolled down, you see a gun come out the window, and you see a blue bandana. The immediate thing you're going to say, it's them Crip niggas. We may have a truce, but I seen the blue bandana. Nigga pulled the gun out. Sprayed. I ran in the house or ran under something so I didn't get hit. And now we gonna go get them niggas. It may not have been the Crips at all. All the Crips could have been in Krispy Kremes, chilling. Didn't plan to do nothing like that. They know we got a truce. I ain't gonna never step to y'all like that. But I just seen an unmarked vehicle ride by. It ain't had no plates on or nothing. Windows was tinted. Oh, I mean, to the point where I couldn't. He rolled the window down and I still couldn't see. That's how tinted the windows were. And then he stretched his hand out. He tatted up, or had a hoodie on,
or some gloves.
And some gloves.
That's a dirty weapon, and you gotta stash it, throw it out the window when you done.
He sprayed, but I could see of course I see the shine of that blue bandana though. Couldn't see him, but I seen the bandana as I'm running, and that wasn't the Crips at all though. It's easy to impose on somebody. It's easy to impose as a group. A lot of times that what's going on, the hatred that's going on between two groups may not all the time be from a group. Look at this. Let's take it off the scale of gangs. Look at relationships. A lot of relationships end from outside influences, or somebody saying this one doing that and this one doing that, and that's not the situation. A lot of times you have outside influencing the situation. Gangs, I'm not taking up for them, but they are, because they are some real fucked up people out here. But it's not all the time somebody outside or a gang related situation that is going on. Sometimes there's a lot of other things that are going on, and gangs are the first one or the first thing that being jumped to. And if anybody in the chat got a question, or anybody in here that has a question, feel free to post in the chat and say something. Or if you have a viewpoint or anything, feel free to post. But I also want to pose a question, because I wanted to talk about something else that has occurred like over this year, and there has been a problem. We have seen it occur multiple times. How do y'all feel? And I'll start this off with Michael, so he can explain it a little bit with the meaning, and then how he feels about it. What and how do y'all feel about the term checking in?
Oh, so like for an example, checking in, you have to check in so your name is in the books. Like that you follow true protocol, and you follow exactly what your set is, or who you represent. It's usually done like when you go out of town. Like for an example, you go to the West Coast and you go out there claiming, oh, I'm this, that, and the third blood. It's gonna be like, all right, come to the motherland, we're gonna check you in. And if you're cold, you don't know your code, you don't know your big homie, you don't know the roots, none of that stuff adds up, you in trouble. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the term checking in is just like going to the motherland, to the real big homies, to the real homies, and checking in. Yo, I'm out here, break them on some bread, let them know what's going on, what brings the business, even if it's, yo, I'm just out here just chilling with my family, or I'm on tour or something. All right, cool. You basically get the pass to just be around the city free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can rep what you say you are. Because if someone is in the streets and they, oh, I'm this, that, and the third, and a real homie is like, yo, I've never even heard of you. I've never seen your face. We never had a conversation. You never sent me no paperwork, nothing. They have a right to violate you right there. Because they don't know you, and you looking like you false claiming. So
How do you feel about checking in and how it's been used or whatnot, and the things that have happened? You don't have to go in specifics on what has happened, because we're not going to bring those situations back up, bring the hurt to those people and whoever back up. But what do you feel about checking in and stuff like that?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I believe in it 100%, especially when it comes to gang activity. You know what the type of lifestyle you signed up for,
Yeah,
and you can't be out here saying you this, that, and the third, and gonna rep it, and just think you're gonna be able to go where real this, that, and the third is. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, you can't just do that and feel it's okay,
yeah,
because when you really come across the people who lost family, lost friends, lost loved ones, lost brothers and sisters to this
yeah,
type of lifestyle, it ain't a game to them. You get what I'm saying? And a lot of these young dudes, oh, I'll never check in. Then that's your ass, because this ain't people think that you can just, oh, I'm this, and it's like, okay, cool, you just throw it on like a jacket. This is not something it's basically a lifestyle.
yeah,
You got people like in the motherland in California, they can't walk certain streets.
yeah,
They legitly can't go up a certain block. God forbid, the only bus running in town is that one on the third block up the corner. You can't go to that one because your rivals is there.
yeah,
So now you got to plan a whole different trip. I feel like it's something that's needed, and especially in gang culture, so that all the impersonations and stuff can stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, let if you don't feel that you need to do that, or you feel like that's not the wave, then don't sign up for it. But you know what you signing up. You just gonna keep slapping your mic.
my bad, bro. I'm out here I had to grease this beer real quick. My
But
bad.
I personally feel, and a lot of people, like I said, they feel it's stupid. But
Yeah,
like I said, this is the type of lifestyle you live. If someone say they don't know you, that can be life or death.
yeah,
And it ain't on no, oh, I don't know you. What's your name? It's, I don't know you. Where you from? Who turned you? Who your big homie?
yeah. What about you, BJ? What you feel about it?
Sounds like I just heard a step-by-step description of extortion. And as a tax-paying citizen, I don't want to pay a second tax. So I agree with Michael. Uh, unless you're living in some kind of, unless you want that for yourself, just be a regular person, live a regular life, and there's no need to open yourself up to extortion just for going to the state. You got to pay fucking FedEx to send a package, and pay Raekwon. I got to pay JetBlue to get to Ohio and play
See,
Big
but
Blue Ohio Goon,
not
or I could just be a regular human being and just go where I gotta go without signing up for some extra stuff.
not for nothing though. A lot of the money isn't just going to niggas' pockets. It's for the like safe house or whatever.
Yeah,
Just saying.
yeah. It's many different reasons behind it and for it. Me personally, I 100% agree. When it comes to the gang culture and the gang life, if that's what you sign up for, that's what you sign up for. You cannot go into other people's neighborhood. That's like coming in my crib and just doing what you want. You can't do that. You can't just come into my
You do
house
know that
and
most of these neighborhoods that they're having people check in for, the second the people in the suburbs want to come back to the general population neighborhood where there's mad people, they're gone. Like look at Harlem.
yeah,
So you're putting yourself in these situations, maybe death, maybe jail, for a neighborhood that you probably don't even own.
But that's the thing. The motherlands isn't like Harlem and shit. I'm
yeah. But
telling you that.
we're not talking about that.
They
I get
own
what you're saying
they
though.
own their neighborhood. They own what they're putting their lives and freedom on the line for.
Bro. I'll leave it at that.
It get.
I'm just saying they'll stop a rapper, they'll stop whatever. But
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
okay,
We're not going to get into the specifics of that. That's another conversation, though, because we're not going to get into the specifics about the motherland. But we're going to talk about what you're saying and the point that you're bringing up. We're just talking about checking in right now. But as checking in, I do agree. If that's the lifestyle that you're in, that is what you have to do. I will say though, and I will speak on, I do not agree with people or gangs or whoever using the term checking in on anybody that's coming and doing something in their city. If you are not gang affiliated and never said you have been, you should not have to come in and see somebody about doing something in that city, because I have nothing to do with that. That's none of my business, and at the end of the day, this is a free country. If I want to come to the city and make a music video, I should be allowed to do that and don't have to come to you to talk to you about it or whatnot, because nobody should have to give my blessings on making a music video. Now, if I come to you, if I come to the area that y'all do y'all business at, that's different though. That's different. Like
that's usually
that's
how it goes.
That's different. But usually that's how it goes. If I'm going into where y'all post up and you do your shit and
I'm
whatever.
talking about when I say that I agree with what you're saying, I'm talking about this is strictly for like rappers and artists and shit. When you in gang life is a whole different protocol.
Yeah.
Right? But as far as rappers and stuff, if you trying to show the trap house in your video, that's just do that.
Yeah, that's different. That's different. If I just go to some random street in California that had nothing to do with you, and that's not your trap house or whatever the case may be, and I just want to shoot on a random street in California, I should be left alone.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm shooting if I rent out a crib in this neighborhood that's up for rent or up for whatever, I should be able to shoot or do my video in front of that house or whatever. Yeah, because I paid for it. Now, who that money go to and all that, that's on them. Like, that's on them. Now, if I want to specifically come to the trap and do that shit, that's different. I have a whole protocol I need to talk to, especially as a city that I need to talk to and deal with. But if I'm just doing that shit at a random place, then that checking in bullshit need to go. That shit, because I've seen, especially with some artists, just because the fact that he's an artist or this one's in a specific field. Oh, who you checked in with coming into my city? That's some bullshit. That shit need to be cut all the left out. I don't care how much money I got, how much money I done made, or what my name is. If I'm doing some shit on some public area or some public grounds that I paid for, leave me the fuck alone. I ain't checking in with nobody. Now, if I come to the trap, if I come to your hood and in your building, just randomly in your building, that's different. But like I said, as far as checking in, as far as the other shit, especially if you part of that gang life, you gotta do what you gotta do, and you gotta understand that it's politics to all of us. This shit come with a lot of politics, and you can't just be out here, Especially that's not your city, that's not your place. You don't know who here, what's going on here, what's doing this, and who's doing this.
Or an alternative to not have to learn a second set of rules for society. Just don't join and live a regular life.
Of course, that's always an alternative. I'm saying for those who choose to, though.
Choose to die young or be in the cage the rest of your life. That's not really a choice.
I mean, that's not always
the case.
Not always the outcome.
That's not always the outcome. But I'm just saying for those who choose to be in that life. Now, to go into what we were kind of alluding to, what do you feel, or how do y'all feel about the game? And BJ, you'll go last because, of course, because since you brought up the topic, I want you to go last on it to give your point of view. But what do y'all feel about gang members or whoever, hoodlums, whoever, thugs, whatever you want to call them, whatever Miss Patty want to call them? How do y'all feel about them repping the hood but not owning the hood?
I mean, then you look stupid.
Yeah.
Because I'm, like I said, I ain't really too fond of speaking on stuff, especially like on stream. But
Yeah. Like I said,
a lot of the true shit, it ain't no city shit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But you look stupid posting up on the blog that your mama paying rent for.
Dying for the block that your mama paying rent for.
Once again, that's not always the outcome. But
So I'm just saying, if you die for it, and the reason I brought this up is I don't know if I'm going too soon, but like Philadelphia, I don't know if you guys have been. Well, you've been up there, Cuddy. I already know that.
Yeah.
You guys let to eat Krispy Kreme and shit, you fat ass.
Nah, it ain't just Krispy Kreme. I be everywhere. I be up in the city.
But I used to go out there consistently. Like I'd be out there 2, 3, 4 times a month for like 2, 3 years. And when I first went out there, they had your neighborhoods. You know, you had your ones that were mostly this, mostly that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'm a black guy, so I also see the mostly black neighborhoods. Now, you can always see the difference between the care one neighborhood got to another one. But towards the end of my time going there, those same neighborhoods that were once havens for certain communities, well, that's gone. Now you moved out. Sally and Mike moved in. They got flowers hanging outside the homes. They bought your house for cheap, for nothing, because your house was considered, what's the word that they use when they can just take your shit because it's not suitable to live in? Condemned.
Yeah.
The city, because in the city, the black-owned mayor, the black mayor and all that shit, he's down with it. They're gentrifying the shit out their neighborhood. And one of my girl's mother's neighbors was saying, you know, I'm watching niggas do all this shit, niggas going to jail, losing their freedom, losing their lives. And then you realize, especially when they come back home, you know, let me go to mom's house. Mom's house ain't there no more.
Yeah.
Mom's never owned it. You never owned it. No matter how much money you made, like, do I support certain things? No. But if I at least see that you took a bad and you at least did some good with it, you brought up your neighborhood, you can say there's like, yes, I'm not an angel, but here's a tangible that is black owned, and we took whatever some of the bad we had and we did our best to turn into a good. There's not much I can say on that because at least could see why I can see the motivations for your actions.
Yeah.
But when you're just doing shit and it means nothing, well, it means nothing to those who eventually get back what they actually own, and you're maybe walking the streets free and you survived your youth, or you didn't survive it, or you're no longer free, and you're a slave in the system because slavery isn't fucking abolished. Then what was it all for?
I mean,
that's where I come at it. Right? Not everybody goes down that road, but do you want to take that chance? Is it worth it?
I understand what you're saying 100%, but I'm also going to say, when things like that happen, it's not publicized. Just saying, when people actually buy their neighborhoods and stuff, you won't hear about it.
Yeah. I definitely.
There's some times that I've heard it. What's his name? Rick Ross, the guy from Cali. He surprisingly, if what he says and what some decent about him were true, he was a bad person who I can at least say in some instances, I can see where he was coming from. He had this. He was smart. He went to jail. He got out, and he owned some shit. And there are people whose lives are better off because he existed.
I understand that, but 1 out of 200, that's a bad ratio for me. That's all I'm saying. You'll hear more about gangs doing this, that, and the third, but you won't hear about the positive stuff they do.
Yeah.
And that's my whole argument.
What positive stuff are they doing? Can I get some examples?
Bro, there's been plenty of gangs that did neighborhood reforms that got no publicity.
Can I get one?
I can't name certain things.
Yeah, we're not going to go into.
I send it to me off.
I know a lot of gang members that's done a lot for their neighborhoods.
Let me one that we can talk about because it's widely known, and I'm surprised. You know, you're acting like it don't exist,
Come on, Nipsey.
but yeah, and he's not the first though. He's not the first at all. It's not the first, and it's not the last. That man was reformed his whole city. That man opened up shops. That man gave work to people that couldn't get a job. He's not the only one that's done this, and a lot. The thing is, huh?
So with Nipsey, I'm gonna give that man his praise, and I'm gonna give him his credit. I do have a question, and this isn't me a shot question. It's a real question.
Yeah.
Is that the standard, or at least is it him and Ross or Ricky in Cali? Are they the standard, or are they the average, or are they rare?
No, they're pretty much this. When you follow real protocol, and this is what I said early in the stream, when you follow the real books, they're the standard.
That's the standard. That's a standard.
Your misconception of gangs is on shit you see over here. The East Coast gangs aren't even looked at when we talk about gangs. When you go to real gang members, they don't look at East Coast because a lot of it is stuff that was handed down from this Crip member that left this Crip set and he wanted to be a big homie. So he left this set to start this set, and now he got this set, and now this set is born. That's
why I started the streams talking about it's a difference between what's a gang and what's a team. In what actual gang members look at, a lot of stuff that we see over here, especially in New York, are not gangs. They are teams that are affiliated with a gang. It's a big difference. I'm not going to go into the specifics of it. I'm not going to go into which ones, but a lot that you know of are teams affiliated with a gang, and it's a big difference. It's a difference when you are the NBA team and you play for the G League team that's from that NBA team. Some are just teams affiliated. Some are, like he said, the Crip member left this gang and wanted to be big homie and started something. This guy, these group of kids got together and started something. It's not all gangs. But what happens is social media, the media, people record, post, publicize, show on TV, whatever way you want to say it, or how you view and see your information. They put that stuff up that are the negative, and the positive is not being talked about.
You cough like that? That's crazy.
Yo, my throat just got mad dry, bro. I got mad cotton.
Pause.
Mad cotton. Ain't no pause. The throat dry. I'm from Harlem.
Hot and it's white, like something. If Harlem ain't got a home no more.
I'm from Harlem. I'm from Harlem. We don't say pause. But yeah, so like that's what it is. The positive that people are doing, especially the gang members, positive shit that gang members are doing, you'll hear maybe about it from the gang member or the people or their representatives themselves sometimes, but it's not publicized as much. There are a lot of neighborhoods, and that's why even we can speak about even when Jay-Z said it, if you are holding down your hood, if you hold down the block but don't own the block, you're a problem, because there are people that's holding down the block that own it.
That's all I'm saying.
I could live life regular.
That is fine. That is fine.
I understand, BJ, and this ain't to attack you or nothing like that, but there's a lot of niggas who didn't have a choice. You luckily had a choice, and you chose the life that you chose. But you can't say nothing when your uncle this, you were born into this, you automatically this because your family this.
That's true. Sad true.
And this is what I'm saying. You and once again, not to attack you or anything, but it's like you can't look at these little niggas out here doing certain things, because if they go to the motherlands, they're gonna be, I don't even know what are you. What is this? What is your gang that you're saying is a gang? They have no answer because they don't have the information. Because the person that they got on with was a person from somebody else that got on with, who was a teardrop of this person who fell from this group, and this group came from this side and heard about it on the East Coast and made his own little group. But it's like I said, when you luckily had a choice to say, you know what, I don't want to do this. But there's a lot of people in the world who mothers are strung out on crack, living in a bad neighborhood, who don't got a fucking choice because it's either they do this or they get beat up by the niggas up the block. And that's just the cold reality of it.
And then some of it's not even like aggression thing, like, you know, they being threatened or like beat up, like he just said. Some of it's just like he said before, my uncle was that, my father was that, my cousin was that, so it don't matter what I do, I'm automatically looked at to it as that. And it don't necessarily have to be a negative. It just him with Crip. Like, obviously, then they're gonna think I'm Crip. Like, or obviously I'm blessed because my fam has been repping this forever. And it don't have to be a negative situation. There's a lot of people out here that live in positive lives, doing things that you wouldn't even believe that they affiliated or part of a gang. Shit, there's people church pastor out here, gang members.
Send that nigga to hell.
The church is one of the biggest gangs in America.
Oh,
Sadly.
we ain't even.
But I'm not involved in this talk before Lucifer come and try to recruit.
Nah, I know what me and my house serve, and we serve the Lord. So I will speak on the church.
I'm good.
Them church niggas.
I ain't got enough clout with the church to start talking shit.
Them church niggas.
Lucifer, leave me alone. Take that blue rag off.
them church niggas. I beg with Jesus. But
Lucifer got himself a big ass Brody Mac suit, got himself a purple ass tie, purple do rag.
That nigga Lucifer be in the midst of them church niggas.
With his waves all silky and shit. They moving like they snakes. Oh god. I'ma stop.
Well, Lucifer be crip walking with them church niggas. Go there.
When the rapture happens, we're gonna be real surprised how full his house is.
Real surprise. Real surprise. Like, oh, you with them?
You thought you was good, right? Nah, you knew that you wasn't. See, you weren't filled with the Holy Ghost a couple weeks ago. That was Henny. But it's okay.
But yeah, like, I mean, like I said, I don't think necessarily gangs are all bad. There are a lot of bad people though. There are a lot of people using gangs for their own reasons and own purposes. But the positives that gang members or gangs have done don't get publicized as much. The shit that Nipsey was doing wasn't publicized or preached about until the man got killed. Like, I didn't know homie had stores and all that, and I was trying to get a hoodie, and the hoodie still sold out. Like you don't know this until something happens. So there's a lot that's going on, and you got to be careful in the world today, and you just gotta be careful, especially careful of the information that you take in. Yes, like a lot of people have negative and bad experience with them, but when we're talking about the true gangs or the true where it comes from, or the true place, the motherland itself, and things like that, it's a lot differences that go on instead of what goes on here. What goes on here is ridiculous sometimes, and it's not who we think or the gangs that we think. Like I said, just because they say they this, don't mean that's what they truly are. A group 12, just because 12 niggas say they part of this, that don't mean necessarily what it is. Because a lot of times that's what be happening. It be 8 niggas, 9 niggas all saying they part of this and that, and now you think that, and that's don't necessarily be the case. And I know that happens not only here in New York, I know that happens in a lot of different states, a lot of different places. There's niggas claiming they whatever just because they can, and that's not the case. There's a lot of what we call false claiming going on. There's definitely a lot, and that also ends up giving a bad rep to gangs. Like if I run around and I'm God forbid shooting people and saying I'm Crip, what you think is gonna be in the headlines? Crip member shoots people. Like it's like that's not necessarily what it is. Sometimes I just like the color blue. Like it's just, sometimes you got a dude that just like the color blue, and now the media posting him as a gang member, and that's not the case. Or then you got rappers out here false claiming they this, that, and the third, and they ain't do nothing. They just rich and done made money or whatever, and now they promoting all these different things that they shoot and kill people, and they've only held the gun in their hand one time because their friend that's actually doing it had a gun. Like you gotta be careful what you take in and all that. But does anybody else got anything they want to add?
Somebody asked a question.
The question was, you want to add anything?
I thought he meant in the chat.
No, I was just saying, I mean, them too. I'm extending whatever to them also, but I was just speaking to y'all personally. Do y'all have anything else to add?
Don't judge a book by its cover. Not all gang members are bad. Fuck the police. They the real biggest gang in America. Fuck the KKK. They should have been abolished years ago.
Heard.
Let's love one another and brush your teeth in the morning and before you go to bed and wash your ass. Nobody want to smell that shit.
I'll add something.
Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Fuck the police. I'll second that.
Amen, my brother.
Fuck the KKK. I'll second that. If you feel pressured because you see that, those who came before you do something, remember that we're in the country where they so-called prioritize individualism. If it ain't for you, it ain't gotta be for you. But if you go doing something,
he said,
you can't
do something.
If you go and you do something, know this and keep this in mind. The world isn't fair. Life isn't fair, and it's a system that hates you from the day your father didn't pull out.
He said father.
The day your father didn't pull out.
Father and Abdul or something.
So remember and make sure your actions will be held against you in ways that no one else will. Be careful what you put out there, because niggas will hold it against you forever. And just stay safe, because it's a crazy ass world.
I agree. Definitely stay safe. Definitely don't judge a book by its cover. With everything you see and hear, it's not true what's going on.
I will add this too. Like, yes, don't judge a book by its cover, but me.
What about you?
I will. Let's say there's a group of people that I know historically have been just wild, crazy individuals. I don't want to judge you, but I'm gonna keep my distance. And my left eye, that drags, it's on you. See, you hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me? my left one.
Yeah, I can't believe you just said that, bro.
I said it. I'm watching you. I'm not watching you because you've done anything. Like I said, it's not a fair world. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna be real cautious around you. Maybe one day we'll come to a place where I don't have to be that person. I would like that to happen, but I'll probably be dead by then. Good night.
Yo, my dude said my left eye that drags. That's crazy. But but yeah, like I said, don't judge a book by its cover. Not everything you see or hear is what's truly going on. People, please be safe and get your own information.
This nigga put glizzies in the chat.
If you don't stop throwing them glizzies in my chat, you
Lord.
don't gotta go everywhere
and
throw
One for him,
Glizzy's
one for
around.
you.
You don't.
He want to share a glizzy with you.
But
I'm done.
this has been another episode of Black Lounge Talks. We glad to be back. We gotta do more. We gotta do better. I gotta do better. I'll speak.
Yeah, you talking about we like it's your channel.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I hate it.
Don't.
Yeah, fuck New York.
That's crazy. But yeah, we definitely gonna be giving some more podcasts. We're gonna try to keep on going. I appreciate everybody that has come through, everybody that shows support for us. Thank you for my co-host, Per King, BJ. Yeah, new setups. We are out here. We are doing things. We are making things happen. We are streaming. We're getting content. The content is getting better. We are out here. We're trying, y'all. We appreciate the support. Show my guys some love, especially when they're streaming. I don't know if anybody's streaming after this. If anybody's streaming, definitely. You gonna stream?
Yeah, I'll stream.
Yeah, your boy 592 is going to stream. So join the stream. Come through. Show the love. Show the support. We're out here. We're doing things. We love y'all. We all trying to be better. It's all right, Miller. We appreciate you for coming through. You always show support, so you get a free pass. Like you automatically get a pass. Like even if the bus is scheduled to leave at a certain time, and you late, that means we all late. Straight like that.
I ain't gonna be late.
Well, you got a different relationship with the person being late, so that's on you. But we here.
No.
We thank you. We thank you for showing support. We thank everybody for showing support.
Is that a glizzy cross?
Did you
Look at the chat
put
real
a
quick.
glizzy cross in my?
That's a glizzy cross. That's crazy.
Okay. After that, we are out of here.
Y'all,
Y'all stay blessed. That's the stream, y'all.